Question is, as per the open vial policy, partially used multi-dose vials of which of the following vaccine can be used over more than one immunization session? First is BCG vaccine, second is DPT vaccine, third is hepatitis B vaccine, and fourth is measles vaccine. So BCG vaccine we cannot use in the open vial policy. DPT vaccine, yes, we can use. Hepatitis B vaccine, yes, we can use. Measles vaccine, we cannot use. So answer will be 2 and 3. 2 and 3. So let's read about the open vial policy, the letter of the central government to state governments about telling about the open vial policy when it was introduced. So they are writing to mission directors about the open vial policy for DPT, TT, hepatitis B, oral polio, and liquid pentavalent vaccine. So they are telling that it can be used for the DPT vaccine, TT vaccine, hepatitis B vaccine, oral polio virus vaccine, and liquid pentavalent. So it is the pentavalent vaccine. But what is more important is that in the same letter they are writing to the state that where there is no open vial policy. So open vial policy is not for BCG, measles, and Japanese encephalitis. They are writing that for the BCG and measles, the vials need to be discarded after 4 hours of reconstitution. So for BCG and for the measles, you have to use the vaccine within 4 hours of reconstitution. If 4 hours have been passed, you cannot use the vaccine. And for the Japanese encephalitis vaccine, it is for the 2 hours. For the Japanese encephalitis vaccine, it is for the 2 hours after reconstitution. So coming to question again, BCG vaccine, no, you have to use it within 4 hours of reconstitution. Measles vaccine, you have to use it again within 4 hours of reconstitution. And one more is Japanese encephalitis vaccine, which you have to use within the 2 hours. What other vaccines you can use it in? Pentavalent, and oral polio virus. So this is about the 81 question. One more concept in it. What is it? We have to see in open vial policy that 3 points: start point, discard point, and beyond discard point. What is start point? That the square which is inside, it is lighter than the circle. You can see that the square is lighter than the circle. So square is lighter than the circle. If the expiry date has not passed, use the vaccine. When will discard point achieve? Discard point is achieved when square matches with the circle. So we can see that we cannot differentiate the square with the circle because the color of square matches with the circle. So then do not use the vaccine. Now beyond discard point is that the inner square is darker than the circle. Again, do not use the vaccine. So we have to use the vaccine only in the case that discard point is not achieved, and start point to discard point is not achieved, we have to use it. So this was about the open vial policy, question number 81. Now coming to 82nd question. The statement, health is a dynamic equilibrium between man and environment, and disease is a maladjustment of the human organism to the environment, explain which one of the following concepts of health. So the concept of health is an ever evolving concept. So the concept which was about the health, what is health? That the health is an equilibrium between man and the environment, and the man and environment tries to adjust to each other. Man try to adapt to environment always, but when there is maladjustment of the man to the environment, there will be disease. So this was the concept which was given in the ecological concept of the health. It was the ecological concept of the health. Now seeing all other options because they are asked. So this question was directly taken from the park. So we need to read all the concepts of the health. So the first is biomedical concept. The option number 1, we can see it's the biomedical concept. So what is biomedical concept? It says traditionally health has been viewed as absence of disease. So if one was free from disease, then the person was considered healthy. So this is known as biomedical concept, and it has a basis in the germ theory of the disease. So what is biomedical concept? Biomedical concept says it is the absence of the disease. So biomedical says it is absence of disease, and it is based on the germ theory of disease. Second concept we have read, ecological. It says that the health is about the equilibrium between the man and the environment. Third is the psychosocial concept. So third concept, after ecological concept, there was third concept, psychosocial concept. So what does this concept says? It says that contemporary development in social science revealed that health is not only biomedical phenomena, but one which is influenced by social, psychological, cultural, economic and political factors of the people concerned. So what is psychosocial concept? It take into consideration social, psychological, economic, political, etc. So this all should be healthy so as to say that the person is healthy. Now coming to modern concept, the last concept, that is the holistic concept of the health. So what does holistic concept says? Holistic model is a synthesis of all the above concepts. It recognizes the strength of social, economic, political, and environmental influences on the health. It has been variously described as a unified or multidimensional process involving the well-being of whole person in the context of its environment. This view corresponds to the view held by the ancients that health implies a sound mind, in a sound body, in a sound family, in a sound environment. The holistic approach implies that all sectors of society has been effect on health. In particular, agriculture has effect on health, animal husbandry has effect on the health, food has effect on the health, industry has effect on the health, education, housing, public work, communication, other sector. The emphasis is on the promotion of the health and the protection of the health. So it takes multi-dimensional. So it's a multi-dimensional approach. So holistic is multi-dimensional approach. That it takes all the concept that was in the psychosocial, that is you have to take social, you have to take psychological, economic, political, and then just like the ecological concept, environmental, just like the biomedical concept about the biomedical concept. This all is taken into consideration. Along with it, it also says that with it there must be consideration on that how industries are affecting the health, how animal husbandry is affecting the health, how is agriculture affecting the health, etc. So this was about the holistic concept. So answer will be, it is second question, answer will be ecological concept. That is, health is a dynamic equilibrium between man and environment, and disease is a maladjustment of the human organism to the environment, is a ecological concept. Now coming to another question, 83rd question. The following table shows three broad components under which the objective of the National Health Policy 2017 can be grouped, along with an example of the goal or objective under that component. So how many pairs given above are correctly matched? So which of them are correctly matched? So this has been taken from the policy document. So when the National Health Policy 2017 came, there was a PDF of it. So there was a policy document. When we read the policy document, it tells that there are three broad components. So the National Health Policy has three broad components. And what are those three broad components? They are health status and program impact. They are, second was health system performance, and third was health system standing. So there were three broad components. The first was health status and the program impact. Second was health system performance, and third was health system strengthening. So within each component, within each broad component, there were many goals and objectives that were given. So out of them, one is given in front of each of them. So health status and program impact has the one of the goal is increase life expectancy at birth from 67.5 to 70 years by 2025. So this is correct. This was a goal within health status and program impact. There are various other goals as well, but this was one of them. Second is, with more than 90% of the newborns are fully immunized by 1 year of age by 2025. Yes, this was one of the goal or objective in the health system performance. So this is also correct. Third is increase state sector health spending to more than 8% of their budget by 2020. So this was also one of the component, one of the goals and objective within the third broad component, it is health system and standing. So this is also correct. So the answer will be all of the three pairs are correct. So answer will be D, all of the three pairs are correct. So you need to know about these, at least these three objectives within these three broad components. Now coming to 84th question, consider the following management methods or techniques. One is system analysis, second is organizational design, third is personnel management, fourth is information system. So they're writing, so they all are management methods or techniques. So four of them are management methods and techniques. But they're asking that which of the method or technique are based on the behavioral science. So which of them are? So this was given from the Park textbook. So let's read the Park textbook. Park textbook says that these techniques, these management methods and techniques can be divided on the basis that either they are based on behavioral science or they are based on quantitative methods. That is, quantitative methods are the one which are derived from the field of economics, operation research and budgeting. So we divide the management methods or techniques on the basis that they are either based on behavioral science or they are based on the quantitative methods. So from the behavioral design, we have the organizational design, personnel management, communication, information systems and management by objectives. So these five methods are based on the behavioral sciences, that is organizational design, personnel management, communication, information systems and management by objectives. Now second categories is of quantitative methods. So they are cost benefit analysis, cost effective analysis, cost accounting, input output analysis, model systems analysis, networks analysis, planning program budget system, work sampling and decision making. So these 10 are the components of the quantitative methods, but they are asking in the question about the behavioral science. So we read that the system analysis is a part of quantitative method. So out of the 10 quantitative methods, system analysis was one of them. We can see it here that this is the system analysis. The sixth number is system analysis and this is based on the quantitative method. So first will be wrong. All other, that is organizational design, personnel management, information system, they are all based on the behavior. So it will be 2, 3 and 4. So D will be the correct option. Now coming to 85th question. In the following table, the end result of the planning are qualified by brief characteristic. So you have to find out how many pairs are correct. Goal, always constrained by time. Objective, precise, either achieved or not achieved. Third is target, permits the concept of the degree of achievement. So first read about the concept of goal, objective and target, and then we will come to question. So this is taken from the Park textbook. So first is the objective. So what is objective? So they are writing that the objective is precise. It is either achieved or not achieved. It is a planned end point of all activities. Second is target. Target refers to discrete activity such as the number of blood films collected or vasectomies done. It permits the concept of degree of achievement. Targets are thus concerned with the factors involved in a problem, whereas objectives are concerned directly with the problem. So coming to option, objective and target. So what is objective? Objective is directly concerned with the problem, directly concerned to problem. So it is either achieved, either not achieved. So either achieved or either not achieved. So second is correct. While the target is, it gives the degree of achievement, that how many slides were examined, how many vasectomies were performed. So it will not be like the vasectomy performed or not performed, but how many vasectomies were performed. So this is about the target. So target gives the concept of degree of achievement. That is how many were done. How many were done means how much you have achieved. Objective is you achieved or not. So second is correct, third is correct. So we have two options which are correct. Objective is correct, which is precise, either achieved or not achieved, yes or no. Target is not about yes or no. It is about the how many were done. 20% were done, 30% were done, 1/5 was done. So this is about the target. It permits the concept of degree of achievement. You cannot just give the answer in yes or no. But in objective, you have to give answer in yes or no. It's very precise, that either achieved or not achieved. Now coming to goal. Goal is more broad. Goal is defines the ultimate desired state toward which objectives and resources are directed. So it's the ultimate desired state. Unlike objective and targets, goals are not constrained by the time. So this was which is asked in the question. It is not constrained by the time or existing resources, nor are they necessarily attainable. It is not that if the government has given that this is our goal, it has to be achieved. No, but it's actually a goal. It's actually a dream of what the government want to achieve. And it is not like that we have to achieve it within 2 months, 2 years, 5 years. No, government can say that we want to achieve it. This is our goal. Like universal health is our goal. The government is not writing that we have to achieve it by this month or this year. So, and not they are necessarily attainable. Goals formulated at the highest level are generally very broad. So they are broad. A goal is usually described in terms of what is to be attained, the extent to which it is to be attained, the population or section of environment involved, for the geographic area in which the proposed program will operate, and for the length of the time required for attaining the goal. So coming to the option goal always constrained by the time. No, they are not time constrained. So they are not time constrained. They are not resource constrained. Government, even if the resources are not present, government may dream about it. So the goal can be made even if resources are not permitting it to be made. Even if time is not reasonable, even then the government can form that goal. So the first is wrong. It is not constrained by time. So second and third are correct. So answer will be C. Only 2 of the pairs are correct. 2 of the pairs. A goal is not constrained by time. It is not constrained by resources, and even if it is that it may not be attained, the government knows it, that it is not possible to be achieved in near time. Even then, the government can make this goal. So this was about